Welcome to my channel Echoes of Coin. Billions were minted, millions were spent, and most people never looked twice. But the 1964 5-cent coin holds a powerful story of coin shortages, historic change, and the final chapter before America transformed its money forever. The 1964 5-cent coin of the United States, commonly known as the 1964 Jefferson Nickel, represents a significant chapter in American numismatic history. At first glance, it appears to be a simple, everyday coin, but behind its modest 5-cent denomination lies a powerful story of design, wartime legacy, economic transition, minting scale, and historical importance. The coin carries the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. The reverse features his Virginia home, Monticello, a symbol of early American architecture and Enlightenment ideals. By 1964, this design had already been in circulation for over 25 years, yet the year itself would become one of the most memorable in U.S. coinage history. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. The design was created by sculptor Felix Schlag, who won a nationwide competition organized by the U.S. Mint. His original design underwent modifications before production began, particularly on the reverse, where Monticello was altered to present a more straightforward frontal architectural view. The obverse shows a left-facing profile of Thomas Jefferson, accompanied by the inscriptions "In God We Trust" on the left, "Liberty," and the date on the right, and subtle details that reflect mid-20th century sculptural style. By 1964, the design had become a familiar presence in American pockets, vending machines, and bankrolls. The year 1964 was historically significant for many reasons in the United States. It was a time of political change, cultural transformation, and economic pressure. The assassination of President John F. Kennedy in late 1963 had deeply shaken the nation. In 1964, the United States Mint faced increasing coin shortages due to rising silver prices and widespread hoarding of circulating coins. Although the nickel did not contain silver like the dime or quarter of that era, it was still affected by the broader coin shortage. Americans began hoarding coins of all denominations, believing their metal value might soon exceed their face value or that older coins would become scarce collectibles. The 1964 Jefferson nickel was struck in enormous quantities to combat these shortages. Production occurred at the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. The Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark, while the Denver coins display a small D mint mark to the right of Monticello on the reverse. In 1964, the total mintage was extraordinarily high. Philadelphia produced over 1 billion nickels, and Denver struck hundreds of millions more. Combined, the total mintage exceeded 2.8 billion coins, making it one of the highest mintage years for the Jefferson Nickel series. This massive output reflected the urgent demand for circulating coinage during a time of economic tension. Despite the high mintage, collectors still pay attention to the 1964 nickel. While it is common in circulated grades and usually worth only face value in worn condition, higher-grade uncirculated examples can carry modest premiums. Coins with strong strikes, full details, and minimal contact marks are more desirable. One key factor collectors look for is the full steps designation. On the reverse of the coin, the steps of Monticello are visible beneath the building's facade. In many coins, these steps appear weak or incomplete due to striking issues. However, coins that show 5 or 6 complete, uninterrupted steps are considered superior strikes and can command higher prices in the collector market. The composition of the 1964 nickel remained the traditional 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy that had been standard since 1866, except for the wartime nickels of 1942 to 1945, which contained silver. The alloy used in 1964 gave the coin a durable structure and a distinctive light gray metallic color. Each coin weighs 5 grams and measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter, with a plain edge. The durability of the copper-nickel alloy allowed the coin to withstand heavy circulation, which is why so many examples remain available today. Proof versions of the 1964 Jefferson nickel were also produced at the Philadelphia Mint. These proof coins were specially struck for collectors using polished dies and planchets, resulting in sharp details and mirror-like surfaces. The 1964 proof nickel was the last proof coin produced before the U.S. Mint temporarily suspended proof sets in 1965 due to the coin shortage. As a result, 1964 proof coins represent the end of an era in U.S. numismatics. Collectors value high-quality proof examples, especially those with deep cameo contrast, where the portrait and design elements appear frosted against mirrored backgrounds. The coin shortage of the early 1960s led to major changes in U.S. coinage. Beginning in 1965, the mint removed silver from the dime and quarter and reduced silver content in the half-dollar. Although the nickel's composition did not change, its production environment did. The mint eliminated mint marks from 1965 through 1967 to discourage hoarding based on mint origin. Therefore, 1964 was the last year until 1968 that mint marks appeared on U.S. coins. This fact gives the 1964 nickel additional historical importance, as it marks the end of traditional mint mark placement before a temporary policy shift. Thomas Jefferson's presence on the coin connects it to deeper American ideals. Born in 1743, Jefferson was a statesman, diplomat, architect, and intellectual leader. His authorship of the Declaration of Independence cemented his place in history. His image on the nickel symbolizes liberty, democratic governance, and intellectual achievement. Monticello, his plantation home in Virginia, represents both architectural beauty and complex historical realities. While it stands as a monument to Jefferson's vision and design skill, it also reflects the legacy of slavery in early American society, as Monticello was built and maintained by enslaved laborers. The artistic elements of the 1964 nickel reveal subtle craftsmanship. Jefferson's hair is rendered in flowing detail, and the contour of his face reflects classical influence. The inscriptions are balanced carefully within the coin's circular frame. On the reverse, Monticello's columns and dome are carefully structured to convey architectural precision within a small metallic surface. The Latin word e pluribus unum appears above the building, meaning out of many, one, reinforcing the unity of the states. Because of its enormous mintage, the 1964 nickel is not rare in general circulation. Many Americans still encounter it in change decades later. However, specific varieties and errors attract collector interest. Some coins exhibit double dies, repunched mint marks, or die cracks. While most examples are minor and hold modest premiums, certain dramatic errors can become valuable collector items. Careful inspection with magnification can reveal small variations that distinguish ordinary coins from collectible pieces. Grading plays a crucial role in determining the value of a 1964 nickel. Coins are graded on a scale from poor, P1, to mint state, MS, 70. Circulated examples often fall within the fine F to extremely fine XF range. Uncirculated coins may reach mint state grades such as MS 63, MS 65, or higher. Full steps examples in grades MS 65 or above can command significantly higher prices compared to standard uncirculated coins. Professional grading services encapsulate and certify coins, providing authenticity and standardized condition assessments that help maintain market confidence. The economic context of 1964 cannot be ignored when discussing this coin. Inflation pressures, rising silver prices, and public uncertainty drove unprecedented coin hoarding. The U.S. Mint responded by increasing production and eventually altering coin compositions. Although the nickel itself did not contain silver, it was still caught in the wave of speculation and hoarding behavior. As a result, 1964 nickels were produced well into 1965 with the 1964 date to meet demand. This extended production period contributed to the extremely high mintage figures. For collectors building a Jefferson Nickel series, the 1964 coin is a common but essential component. It marks the final year of traditional pre-1965 coinage before major metallic changes in other denominations. Completing a date and mint set requires examples from both Philadelphia and Denver. Many collectors also seek a proof example to represent the year's special issues. Because the coin is widely available, it serves as an accessible entry point for new collectors entering the hobby. Over time, the design of the Jefferson Nickel would undergo modifications. In 2004 and 2005, the U.S. Mint introduced the Westward Journey series, temporarily altering the reverse design to commemorate the Lewis and Clark expedition. In 2006, a new forward-facing portrait of Jefferson replaced the original left-facing design that had been used since 1938. These changes highlight the historical continuity of the nickel while distinguishing earlier issues like the 1964 coin as part of the original long-running design era. The 1964 5-cent coin may appear ordinary, but it stands at the crossroads of American economic transition and numismatic tradition. It represents the final full year before the removal of silver from circulating coinage, the last appearance of mint marks before their temporary suspension, and one of the largest coin production efforts in U.S. history. Its copper-nickel composition ensured durability, while its classic design preserved a link to the nation's founding ideals. Today, collectors and historians alike view the 1964 Jefferson nickel as both common and historically meaningful. It is a reminder of a time when America faced economic pressure yet maintained confidence in its currency system. The coin's survival in large numbers ensures that future generations can hold a tangible piece of mid-20th century history. Whether discovered in a pocket, inherited in a coin collection, or examined under magnification for full steps detail, the 1964 5-cent coin continues to tell its quiet but enduring story. Its value may not rival rare gold coins or early American cents, but its significance lies in its connection to daily life. Billions of these coins pass through countless hands, participating in commerce, vending machines, jukeboxes, and everyday transactions. Each example carries marks of circulation or preservation that reflect its journey through American history. For the dedicated numismatist, even a common coin can hold extraordinary depth when examined closely. In conclusion, the 1964 5-cent coin of the United States embodies a blend of historical importance, artistic consistency, economic context, and collecting opportunity. From its portrait of Thomas Jefferson to the detailed image of Monticello, from its massive mintage to its role in the coin shortage era, it remains a fascinating and accessible piece of American numismatic heritage.